And the term safar, traveling, has come in the book and in the sunnah, without a definition from the book or the sunnah. Allah Azza wa Jal, meaning, Allah Azza wa Jal has not defined for us traveling in His book, nor has His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam defined for us in an explicit hadith that 30 kilometers or 3 riding stations or such and such amount of distance is a travel, and what's less than that is not a travel. There's no hadith that would unite us upon one position. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So in this kind of an issue, the ulama look and they gather all the hadith together and they try to find what was the least journey traveled, the least distance traveled by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he either broke his fast or shortened his salat, so that we could understand from that that's the shortest possible safar, the shortest possible distance. And their opinions clashed and they differed from the very first time they set out to do that. Some of them mentioning numbers derived from a hadith, and that differing went on and on. And nothing is entirely clear to me from that differing. No one position seems to have any more validity than another position. Then you have the idea of something called al-urf. Some terms in Islam were left without definition because the meanings will change along with the passing of time, and in the different places. And that is something that is very crucial to understanding this issue in today's day and time. Because if we defined it as some people defined fasting in the past as one day's travel, once you travel beyond 24 hours, one day, you are now a traveler. Less than one day, like Abu Hanifa, you cannot break your fast in the first day of traveling. We can go around the world now in 24 hours, right? Or almost nearly around the whole world in one day. There's nowhere left to go inside of one day. One plane trip can take you basically from anywhere in the world to another place in the world in that day. So then that would eliminate that position as being correct, because then there's no meaning to traveling anymore by airplane. That no one can break their fast when they're traveling on an airplane, because you can go all the way around the world in one trip in one day. So that seems to show that there is a need to understand the word traveling in light of the time and place you live in. Because the idea of traveling, even with the historical landmarks like Mecca, Jeddah, Medina, the people's position has almost unanimously changed. Whereas Mecca to Jeddah, it's about from the boundary of Mecca to the boundary of Jeddah, the last boundary of Mecca to the beginning of Jeddah is 55 kilometers. 55 kilometers. Historically, unanimously, this is traveling. Unanimously, it's traveling. Nowadays, almost unanimously, or the majority of the people who live in these two cities consider this to be a 20-minute trip between, from one edge of Mecca to the edge of Medina, 25 minutes. And the majority of the people do not consider that to be traveling. And if someone said, I'm traveling from Mecca to Jeddah, most of the people would consider that a weird statement. You're traveling to Jeddah? It would be similar to you saying, I'm traveling to Mississauga tomorrow. Is that right? It's about a half-hour trip maybe? What if someone, said, I'm traveling tomorrow, I just want to wish you well. Where are you going? I'm going to Mississauga. You would sort of say, you're traveling. Just seems a little weird, right? But you can imagine in the past, before the roads and everything, that would be a trip. Right? Before roads, before cars, go back 200 years. Okay, Toronto to Mississauga. Now that's a trip, that's a journey. Backpacks, bring your food with you. So it's a journey. So now, the distance and the people's attitude towards that distance changes with the way Allah provides us with means of transportations, roads, and ease. So something that was clearly considered to be a travel at one time enters into another time where it's clearly considered to be just a trip that's not considered traveling, according to the customs of the people. So then we can apply in this case what seems to be the easy exit out of all the differing that the scholars had. The easy exit is what some of the usuliyun mentioned. وَكُلُّ مَا أَتَى وَلَمْ يُحَدَّدْ بِالشَّرْعِ كَالْحِرْزِ فَبِالْعُرْفِ حِدُّدْ, mentioned by Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen in his poetry on usul al-fiqh. Everything that has come in the texts as a word that is important, but was not defined by the Sharia, it wasn't given a definition. Like al-hirz is the necessary means by which you protect your property from theft. That hasn't been defined, the exact way you are obliged to protect your property from theft. And it's a condition for the punishment of theft to be applied. It's a condition for in a case where a thief is caught and accused of his crime, he must have stolen it, the property that he's accused of stealing, from a hirs, from the known protected way, the known way of protection of property. So for example, if someone left a Mercedes-Benz in front of the store that he went into with the keys on and the engine running, this is against the commonly known way of protecting that kind of property. That property should be turned off, the keys taken out, perhaps even another security device enabled when it's left alone. So then when a person would steal a Mercedes-Benz in a case like this, even though it's still theft, we cannot apply the punishment because he has not stolen that from a hitter. So that's one of the conditions for applying the punishment of theft on a thief, that he has to have stolen the property from a hitters, fi hitters and mithli, min hitters and mithli. So that hasn't been defined by the Sharia. As an example, that's something left to the urf of the people. A diamond ring is kept secured in a way different than $10 is kept secured. And a car is kept secured. Different types of cars and levels of cars are kept secured in a different way than other lesser types of cars are kept secured. All of those things are only, we cannot get that from the book and the sunnah except as a general principle that the urf dictates the way those things are to be secured. Likewise, the word safar, the word travel, and this is the position of some of the scholars, traveling is left, the idea of someone being a traveler and when he becomes a traveler is left to the custom of the people, left to the regulations and the opinions of the people in each and every place and time. Not that a person can go and do whatever he likes. And he says, I'm going 5 minutes from my house, I'm going to call myself a traveler because I have the right, and there's no definition of the word traveling in the Quran and the Sunnah, so I'm going to call myself a traveler. Now he's going against what the people believe here. And the general consensus of the people, or the vast majority of the people in their position, that's what's considered when it comes to the urf. When we say the urf yahkum, the custom of the people has some say in some rulings in Islam. And this seems to be one of them. And in this way, we get away from, is it 40 kilos, is it this many farsakhs, is it this many days of traveling? All of those opinions that don't have for each and every one of them any hard evidence that distinguishes it from the rest of the opinions. This acts as a way out for us to say that this is left up to the custom of the people and the place, and what is known to the people to be traveling is taken as in Islam as traveling, and a person shortens his salah as a traveler when he's known to be a traveler by the custom of the people, and a person breaks his fast when he is a traveler according to what the people understand in the time and place where he lives. There's a little bit more left to this discussion that we'll have to continue after the salat, inshaAllah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.